All right, well, happy Friday to you guys. Welcome to another 164 diecast workshop. I am building this 2017 Brendan Gaughan NAPA Darlington car, and it's a pretty complicated scheme, actually. Not a very easy one to do. I'm kind of cutting up this this second set of or the passenger side of decals. I've already done the driver's side. Wanted to kind of show you just some of the things that you run into, some of the, I'll say, a concession or multiple concessions that you have to make sometimes when doing cars, just some of the things that I think about as I build customs. I've said this before. I'm striving for, trying to make the car look as best as I can what's raced on the track, and sometimes it's just it's easier to do something a little bit different so that the car turns out as a better product, and I'll explain that to you here in a minute as I go through this. But just kind of cutting out these decals here to get them in the water, and then I'll start going through some things that I wanted to show you guys. Making pretty good progress on all the cars I'm trying to get done here in the next few days before Christmas. It's going to be tight, let's put it that way, because I'm trying to get some things done before. I want to get them in the mail before Christmas. I want to get them in the mail, and maybe have them arrive around Christmas time or close to Christmas time. So I'm trying to get them done so I can mail them out tomorrow, or at the latest on Monday. So who knows what will happen with the mail, but that's kind of my plan. So if you've got, Mr. FF, Mr. JS, if you're watching this, and you can see I'm trying, but I'm not sure I'm going to be 100% successful with having the cars arrive at your place. I guess really on Christmas Eve, because I don't think mail trucks deliver on Christmas Day. I don't know. Maybe that's changing as we see mail delivered on Sundays and other holidays when communities used to just be completely shut down. Commerce would stop, so people would be able to, everybody would be able to focus on just celebrating the holidays and taking a rest. It seems that that's not necessarily the case anymore. People feel the need to constantly work and not really take a rest, and just enjoy time with family, friends, worshiping, whatever that I think should be done. I've said this probably many times before, but God created the world, it says, in 6 days, and then on the seventh day he rested. And if you know anything about the Bible, God is a God who can do anything that he wants to. He is all-powerful. And what I find interesting is, why did he take 6 days to create the world and rest on the seventh day? Why did he do that? Why couldn't he have created it in 1 day, or 1 millisecond, as powerful as he is? I think that's all possible. But he did it in 6 days, and with God everything has a purpose. And I think his purpose was to show us, his creation, how we ought to live our lives. And so he created the world in 6 days to be that model, be that example to us, and that we should work 6 days and then rest on the 7th day. Take a break from our work, our labor, rest, worship. Our bodies need physical rest, obviously. But sometimes, mentally and emotionally, we need just to shut things off and take a break. So, anyways, I'm kind of rambling on there, but we'll see how things go with getting these cars done and getting them out. But I'm a big proponent in taking a day of rest, enjoying holidays, and just not always being working and engaged in what we're focused on. Just to get away from things, and I think that's definitely better for sure. You could crunch the numbers and say, hey, it's if you work 7 days a week, you're going to make more money. Sure, but how long can you really do that? And is that really in your best interest? And is money the only object? Are there other factors involved? Your physical and mental well-being should factor into it too. And so, anyways, that's why I like to take a break and from my labors and work, or take a break from work and kind of segment work into those 5-6 days. So, all right. So I've got those in the water. Let me just show you a couple things real quick on this car. It's pretty straightforward. It's a blue car with the decals that are kind of white and yellow, a little bit of red in there. But one of the problem areas is on this front nose, and I threw away the I could probably fish it out of my trash, but the front nose decal looks like this. But the way that this car is built, the diecast body, you can see it's got this massive lower valance across the front here, and the decal is just not gonna it's not gonna cover all of that at the end of the day. And the decal sheet comes with a strip that goes along here, but it's really small and thin, and I kind of looked at it closely with this piece, and I'm not going to get coverage. And so instead of having a gap with blue, because the body's blue, right, I could do one of two things. Actually three. I need to pre-paint this area. I could pre-paint it black. I could pre-paint it this yellowish gold color, or I could pre-paint it red, and as you can see, I pre-painted it red. Looking at some pictures of the car, it's funny, the practice pictures show it red around the bottom. The actual car on the racetrack shows it this yellow gold color all the way around. So it's funny how sometimes when you look at pictures of race cars, you need to look at and know when the picture was taken, because sometimes things change between practice. They didn't qualify much in 2020, but previous years you'd have practice, you'd have qualifying, and then you'd have the actual race trim. And sometimes little things change from practice. The car look changes a little bit. Anyways, I was looking around what I have, and I do not have a color of paint that is going to match this this yellowish gold color. I just don't. And in order to pre-paint something to match up against this color, you want it to hit perfectly. You don't want two shades of the yellow there. It would look dumb. So what I've done is I went ahead and pre-painted it red, and I'm going to do it that way. Yes, this doesn't match the car that was driven in the race. It more aligns with the practice version. But, that's the sacrifice to make in order for it to be, for me to have it be a really nice looking custom. So that's my plan for that, for this side here. Let's see, what else was I going to show on this? Okay, so one of the other things that is a little frustrating with diecast bodies is, this particular donor is a 2017 car, However, they kind of changed a little bit the actual race cars, and they didn't really change the diecast. So the diecast come with the spoiler that kind of is rounded, and so what I'm going to try to do is clip these off. I think I showed that before in a previous video, and then paint this spoiler black, and that will better align to what the actual car looked like. So yeah, some of these cars, the diecast bodies, they take a little time to adjust to what exactly was driven on the track, and so sometimes you have to modify some things there. So that's kind of my plan for this Brendan Gaughan Darlington Xfinity car. All right, let's look at something else that I made that I finished up yesterday, at least decaling it. So this is a Howard number 15 Saney Xfinity car, 2020. And so you can see this didn't quite go all the way to the bottom, so I'm going to paint this black across the bottom here. But this is ready to be touched up. I got to paint the spoiler black, paint this. I got to get more coats of sealer on it, and just do kind of the finishing touches on this car, and that'll be done. And then I got this to decal today. This car, Allmendinger 2020 Ellsworth. And then I've got this, I'm trying to think who the driver is here. Let me see. Oh, Snyder. I've got this blue Tax Slayer Snyder to decal today. That'll be fun. I say that facetiously because these big fat decals here that need to line up with the roof here and everything will be a challenge. So I've got to work that today. And those are the 4 cars for Mr. JS. And like I said, I'm going to try to get those mailed out Monday at the latest, and be able to get those to you hopefully as close as I can by Christmas. All right, so Mr. RS, your Colwitt 26 speed stick gear is just getting done with coats of sealer. I'm pretty happy with the way this car came out. It was a little bit of a struggle doing this nose, as most full body wrap cars are. Doing the nose on these cars is tough. You've got to use the microsole, and you've really just got to patiently work it in, get it to bend around, work out the wrinkles as best as you can. Those little creases. I still see a little one there. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with this car. I've got to paint this lower valance here with the lime green. So I kind of work that in as I seal it and let it dry. One of the things I wanted to, or not that I wanted to, but I can show you real quick. Sometimes when you're painting underneath, you miss, right? You can see I got a little bit of the black over here. And I just let it dry, and then I just carefully scrape it off, and that way, it's not that you're not freaking out when it happens. Just let stuff dry when you do that, and just kind of gently scrape it off, and then you're not going to see it. I mean, there may be a little bit of residue that's there, but by and large, you're not gonna see it when you're done here. I also, because I'm handling these cars so much when I decal them and seal them, sometimes my fingers will rub a little bit of the paint underneath, and so I try to touch it up and then seal it before I finish the car. So I'll go over, it's usually this black where I paint the exhaust black, and if you can see that. But I try to touch that up before I finish the car, so it looks pretty good. So yeah, it's not too bad there. The other piece on this car that's a little bit of a pain, and this happens when you have these full wrap cars, is this passenger side window. And you can see I've got, kind of, it's kind of rubbing here. I can tuck it underneath over here, which is what I did, but as you get back closer to this B pillar, you can't get it underneath. So what I do sometimes here is I'll just kind of trim it off. Just going to trim off that little excess decal once it's dried, right? It's a little bit harder to do it when it's wet. And then it doesn't look so bad. Still got a little bit of a ripple here, but I'll try to flatten that out. It's not perfect, but you want to try to make it so it's not so noticeable when you're done with the car, So it's not as noticeable. I'll put some coats of clear sealer on it. It won't be too bad. Not perfect, but again, sometimes you have to settle, for that. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with this car. The nose is nice for a full wrap car. I don't want to say you give yourself a tolerance of a couple of little mistakes, but that's usually what's going to happen. When you're dealing with a full wrap car, it's not going to be perfect, and you just try to do the very best you can. I see something here. So, all right, and then Mr. FF. You're probably like, hey, where's my 4 cars? All right, so this is the gold pedigree. This one's done, boxed up, as you can see, ready to go. Next we have the regular pedigree, and I'm still working this one just a little bit. Just doing a little bit of touch up across the bottom here, across the spoiler, and I can put some more coats of sealer on it. But this is the regular pedigree paint scheme. Turned out, really nice. I'm real happy with it. Just like the gold one, but this is the marigold color. And yeah, so this one's looking good. Let's do the white M&Ms. So this is the Thank You Heroes car. Showed this the other day in my video. I'm at the point of sealing it right now. Interesting, just looking at the pictures, the roof lines are white and the spoiler's white, so I'm not doing any black, there. I am doing a little black across this lower valance here, but just something, I have to be careful with, because I typically, just assume that the spoiler is going to be black and the roof lines are going to be black. So I've got to look very carefully at the pictures, to make sure that I'm not screwing it up as I get, closer to finishing the car. But yeah, this car is just about done. And I'm pretty confident I'll be able to ship these cars to you tomorrow. And then the fourth one you asked for was the Sports Clips car. And again, this one is pretty much done. I've got the black roof lines, the black spoiler, black on the lower valence across the front. Looking at the pictures, this is all red here, and so my red doesn't really match this that well, and so I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Unfortunately, the diecast or the decal set comes with yellow Goodyear, but I think it's actually black. So I had to put the yellow on there because that's what came with the decal set. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I'm pretty happy with this car. The roof doesn't quite line up on the back here and on the front, so I kind of got it centered in the middle there. So there's a little bit of give on each side. Again, my red doesn't match this red that well, and so instead of trying to pre-paint that area, I just stayed away from it. But all in all, this is nice looking car for Kyle Busch. So yeah, so your 4 cars, like I said, will probably ship out tomorrow. I'll take my time working the ceiling of the car today and getting everything just touched up as nice as I can get it, and then we'll package those up and ship them out tomorrow. Alrighty then, let's decal this. I did get an odd email from a customer friend last night. He was making some changes to his to a car that I had sold him. Rather expensive car, actually. And he was trying to paint something on it. I think he was trying to change the lower valence color, and he taped it off. And these cars aren't really made to be taped. Once I finish it, you really want to handle with care. But he had taped it off, painted the lower valence, and then when he went to remove the tape, unfortunately, the decals came with it. So he wasn't very happy about that. Wasn't very happy with himself, not necessarily with me. But just a word, about that. I mean, these cars are not, they're not really meant to be handled a whole lot. They will chip and I mean, just like anything, it's something that is perishable, if you can use that word. So I highly recommend that you guys, I mean, obviously, you buy the car, you get the car, you do what you want with it. But if you want to preserve it, it's best preserved in a box and kind of kept on your shelf. And if you are going to play with it, that's kind of, you're going to be at your risk, at your own risk there, of course. So just be careful out there with regard to that. So he's actually going to ship the car to me, and I'm going to try to repair it for him. So hopefully I'll be able to do that, and it'll be back to new again. I'll have to order some decals so that I can replace the ones that were ripped and everything. So it'll be a delicate work. I've done that before with one of my cars, but I've never had a customer have me do that before. I did have a customer with I may have shared this with the JB Weld. The car came apart because I didn't use enough JB Weld, and so I said, hey, ship me the car and I will reattach everything, no charge to you. And so yeah, that was that was when I started changing how I did the JB weld. I wasn't putting enough in there, and I definitely changed after that for the better. It was definitely a learning experience. So. Okay. Sometimes getting these to wrap around is a little bit of a pain. I know some people like to decal the car before you reattach it, or put it back together again, and that's fine. This is where you get the most benefit from doing that. I just use the JB weld and have it soften the decal and get it to do that for me. So. Pull this down just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Gaughan, he's been racing for a while. I don't really follow the truck series. I guess he's had a lot of success in the truck series. But he's been racing for a while. Made a few of his cars. Got a few people have requested his cars. Just I don't really know much about him at all. So. Okay. See, I like to separate this. This was like right underneath it on the decal sheet, but it's not really going to be able to do that, so kind of offset it just a little bit there. And then this piece here. So if you saw, I was kind of trimming the top part of it so it could wrap a little bit around this diecast body. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Gave you an update on things, and hope you have a great day. God bless you. And we will talk to you soon.